Hello, everyone. Thanks for checking in with Callie. Now, listening to Kawhi Leonard saying this, and as you're reading the article here, Kawhi Leonard makes a lot of sense. He speaks on, how James Harden's impact have really helped the Clippers in regards to, just being on the team and where they are now from where they started. And he makes a lot of great points. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has to know their role. It might be the next man. Everything might not be traditionally the same. One night it might be your night. One night might be another guy's night. And, ultimately, he basically says that on the defensive end is what they pride themselves on, going out there on the court first. They pride themselves on that first when they step out on the court and let their offense just take care of itself because they got so many offensive pieces with the 4-star players. And then, you got Terrence Mann, coming off the bench, Norman Powell, bench players. And hell, now you look at Amir Coffey, what he did in last night's game against the Warriors. That definitely says a lot there about, what they have in regards to depth. They got a guy like Amir Coffey. He doesn't even play like hardly at all. But his number was called and he stepped up and he logged in some big minutes and he scored like 17 or 18 points, just stepping into a role. And played hard on defense, and he's one of the longest tenure guys with the Clippers. So shout out to Amir Coffey. The Folgers soldier. That's what they call him. I didn't know that until I heard it last night. The Folgers soldier. I think that's pretty cool. I guess since his last name is Coffey, but definitely big shout out to him, and hopefully he can continue to produce when his number is called. But I think Kawhi has a lot of great points here, and I definitely think he said more or less the biggest thing he said to me is that when they step on the court more so, they're focused on the defensive end more than the offensive end. And when you look at them these last, 10 plus games or so, it looks like they're better on it looks like they're focusing on the defensive end because Kawhi looks like he should be on the all NBA, all defensive team this year, especially. Well, matter of fact, you could say that about him every year, really. He's definitely in contention for that every year, if you ask me, if he steps on the floor. But this year, he's really, been healthy and showing it, a lot. And, James Harden has been, putting his hand in there, trying to cause disruptions and deflections and things like that, along with Paul George. They're trapping people when they get past the half court line at times. Before they get in their sets, they're throwing bodies at them. Terrence Mann is running all over the place. Russ is definitely causing havoc when he comes into the game because he plays with all that energy anyway. So, on the defensive end, he's just, trying to distract and do certain things. And then, like I said, you got other guys off the bench that's coming in and want to contribute defensively too. Even Kobe Brown came in some minutes and, throughout these last 10 games or so and played a few minutes here and there. And I've seen a little bit of, defensive, awareness with him as well. So it's like, they're all buying into that defensive scheme that Ty Lue is telling them, in which I do think a part of that in regards to Ty Lue's coaching is very, very good because he wants them to focus on the defensive end and he's finding ways to put guys in position to be disruptive on the defensive end. Guys are not even really, defenders like that. Now, we know Kawhi and PG are, they're just naturally good at defending. That's just what they do. They're two-way players. But, like I said, seeing Harden going out there, getting deflections and trying on defense, of course, Russ doing it, and other players are following. I just think it's a great thing for this team. And I think ultimately it's going to be something that could put them over the top, against every other team out there, either in the West or the Eastern Conference. And, ultimately, of course, with Kawhi playing at the level that he's playing the last like 5-6 games, Kawhi is averaging like 29 points on like 60% shooting, 50% from three, and he's shooting like 91% from the 3-point line. It's insane what Kawhi does. Kawhi is just one of a kind to me. His bag is just different than any other superstar. He can go out there and drop 30 and be efficient and lock somebody up on the other end. It's just, it's like, Kawhi he's just a rare type player. He really is. And he's, like I said, and then at times he just looks like fucking Jordan at times. He just does. At times he just looks like he's just the most dominant player in the NBA. It just looks that way. And honestly, he just looks like he's every other superstar's kryptonite at times. He may can't shut them down to 10 points and all that type stuff. But I mean, when Kawhi guards you for a few possessions, 5, 6 possessions, you only score on like 1 or 2 of those possessions. You ain't scoring on all 5 possessions with Kawhi guarding you. Because first of all, if you're trying to get to the rim on him, remember his hands are so big, he might, disrupt your dribble and your handle before you even get to the rim. And then when you do get to the rim, I mean, he is a fairly underrated shot blocker. He can block some shots. You know what I'm saying? He's good at just disrupting everything a team does. So his defense is meddlesome to me. It always has been. I mean, it is, his defense is Mount Rushmore to me, almost up there with like Rodman, Scottie Pippen, guys like that. His defense is there, on that level. I'll even put Draymond's defense up there, when Draymond is right back in the day, and his defense was really good too. So, I mean, it's a good thing that they have going right now. And I think Kawhi Leonard is enjoying the fact that they're figuring out ways to win, because that's really all Kawhi is about. He just wants to win. He wants to be a winner. And I definitely always appreciate that about him. And I always felt like, with that type of mindset he has, he's not one of those players out there going out there playing for a paycheck. He's going out there playing because he wants to win. He wants to be the best, the best that he could be for himself, his family, the fans that root for him, the fans that root for the team that he's on, you know what I'm saying? And even his teammates, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's a rarity, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of guys, you look at somebody like Zion Williamson, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people are mistaking him now that he got the money that he wanted and get all the endorsements and everything. He's not taking care of his body and all the things you're hearing about him. It just makes you appreciate players like Kawhi Leonard more, because he does his best to take care of his body. He's had some injuries and things like that, but he doesn't, try to, undermine the game. He wants to be the best he can be. He wants to be the best player in the world. He wants to be, he wants his team to be the best team, and he wants to be a winner. You know what I'm saying? And when you have that desire in you, it shows in everything you're doing. And so far, knock on wood, Kawhi's been healthy this year, played all 24 games. I think if he plays the next game, that'll be a milestone for him after the next 2 games, because the last time we seen him play 25 consecutive games in the season, it was 2017, I believe, or it was the 2019 season with the Raptors. But still, that's been a while ago. So shout out to him for that. If he can continue that and continue playing the level he's playing, because him and James Harden honestly look like a very good duo. And honestly, at times, him and James Harden look like a better duo than Kawhi and PG. Honestly, because PG is more of just a guy to go down there and score, and take up, pull up shots at times. And then when PG is hot, he's hot. But I mean, the thing about PG, he's real streaky. And James Harden is streaky too, but James Harden has something that PG doesn't. He can give you 10, 15 assists a game. So even when James Harden is not scoring at a high clip, he still really has some value being on the floor a little bit, because he can get everybody else going. And if somebody else is hot, he can find them, and he's still going to draw double teams because he's a star player, as always looked at as an elite scorer. So I mean, him drawing double teams and finding people the way he does, in rhythm the way he does, he really actually does a lot. He does a lot in regards to that assist factor that really helps the Clippers offense flourish. And I definitely appreciate him on playing defense the way he's been playing a lot better with this team and things like that. And just trying to buy in. It definitely, when you got a James Harden that wants to buy into the system, you can do a lot of good things. I remember him way back in the day on OKC with Russ and Kevin Durant, and he bought into just coming off the bench and being their 6th player and being the explosive 6th player they needed, and they went all the way to the NBA Finals. So I mean, it's like, if he buys into what you're trying to sell, then you have a pretty good player in James Harden. But the point is, you got to give him the buy-in, and so far Ty Lue has, and so far Ty Lue and Kawhi Leonard has been happy with it so far, and hopefully they can keep it going. Hopefully Kawhi can keep it going, and Paul George get back in there, and they get this thing rolling the way it's supposed to, and keep it going throughout the season and see where that takes them.